Hello, I got the Surface Pro 4 last week. I have it right here in my hands, and it's going to be a week or two before I get my full review up, so I wanted to kind of give my first impressions. So my first impression is that this thing is it's pretty nice. So I've been using the Surface Pro 3 for about a year and a half now. It is my primary drawing tablet. I do almost all my illustration on it. So when I first got it and I unboxed it and pulled it out of the package and set it next to my old one, I saw that they're very, very similar pieces of hardware. I didn't think this would be a huge change or dramatic change from what I'm used to. But a lot of just the little details that they tweaked are really, really nice. So to start off with, I want to talk about this pen. This pen. I love this pen. And just looking at the design of this and how well this works and how much I like it, you can tell that Microsoft was really listening to artists and illustrators when they were tweaking and redesigning some of the elements of the Surface Pro 4. When you look at the Surface, any of them, from the first one into the fourth one, it's got a glass screen. It's really slick. And when you're drawing on glass and you have this plastic pen drawing on glass, it slides around a lot, and it takes a little bit of time to kind of get used to drawing on a kind of a slick surface. A lot of the Wacom tablets have a texturized layer over it to give it a more paper-like feel, which gives you a little bit more control. That matte surface also sometimes makes the screen, pulls the screen a little bit further away from the pixels, so it feels like there's more glass there, and it also can kind of dull some of the colors as well. As a compromise, what Microsoft has done with this pen is they've put a little rubbery tip on it. Now, this is really nice. Because when you're drawing on that glass, it gives it just a little bit of resistance and makes it feel so much more realistic and gives you so much more control over drawing. But they went a step further. You can actually buy a little pack of different kind of nibs that you could put into this pen. So even though looking at this tip, it's soft and rubbery, it's probably going to wear out faster than the old plastic tip on my old Surface pen, but at the same time, I'm more than happy to pay $10 for new tips to this pen every year or so, just because the control and the accuracy is so much better with those tips. But when you look at the back of this pen, the button on the back also doubles as an eraser. So if I'm drawing in Photoshop or other programs, when I flip it around, it automatically changes to kind of this eraser button mode. And because it's rubbery like the tip, it feels like you're actually erasing with an eraser, like you want to wipe off the little eraser turds or whatever they're called. Eraser shavings? They're called eraser shavings. I also want to talk about this this type cover that I got with it. When I compare it to my old type cover, you can see that this is much larger. Also, the buttons are further apart. Keys. The keys are further apart. And holy cow, just those little design tweaks make it so much easier to use. When I had to jump back to my Surface Pro 3 to use it a little bit this weekend, I really missed the keyboard. It almost feels unusable after using the new keyboard. So the Surface Pro 4 that I got is the lowest end one. It's the $899 one, and it's the one with the M3 processor and 4 gigs of RAM. If you want to go through all the specs and geek out about that, I have a link to it. The specific one I got down in the description down below. One of the questions I got a lot on my Surface Pro 3 video review was, can I just get a Surface 3, or can I get a lower processor? Can I save a couple $100 here and there? And I didn't really know, because I got one that had a little bit more RAM and a little bit of better of a processor in it. So far, the answer to that question, though, is the low-end one is holding up really well. So overall, I'm still kind of running it through its paces, trying to get a feel for, is this processor really going to slow you down? In the long run, is this going to kind of stink, or are you going to wish that you got the i5? But initially, so far, the results are pretty good. So overall, I'm really digging it, and I know that on November 11th is what I heard is when you can buy the Apple iPad Pro and Apple Pencil, and so this pen and this new Surface tablet have really set a high bar that the Apple Pencil has to live up to. And I am saying that as an Apple fanboy. Look, I'm drinking the Kool-Aid right now. One of the main reasons that I love Apple products is because they pay attention to those tiny little details, the little things that make a product shine. Apple products may cost an arm and a leg and be more expensive than other stuff out there, but if you're a power user and you really care about this kind of thing, those little details and those nuances make a huge difference in your work. So over the years, Microsoft really seemed like they were making their design decisions of their hardware and their software almost based around what their marketing team could sell, not creating the best product. For example, the Surface Pro 3 had this button on top, which the Surface Pro 4 has this as well, but this button, all it did was open the program OneNote. They were really pushing OneNote. I never really used OneNote, but now this is an eraser and it does multiple things, and if you press it twice, it does something different. I forget what. Also on the Surface Pro 3, there was this giant button on the face of it that just took you to the giant Windows 8 screen that no one enjoyed. Part of that felt like they were just pushing Windows 8 on you, like this product was just a showcase for Windows 8. On the Surface Pro 4, that button is gone, which is great because for drawing, my hand was always like resting on that button and always pulling up that menu. I ended up having to go in the registry and completely disable the use of that button because it was so annoying. And even when I disabled it, it still kind of shook when my hand would brush against it. It just didn't launch into the Windows screen and ruin everything. So overall, all the decisions, these design decisions that went into creating the Surface Pro 4 were created to make it a better product, not to sell anything or just push more software on you. It seems like this is a major shift for Microsoft in a very, very good direction for them. So anyway, really enjoying it. First impressions are really good. I have a whole bunch of other stuff to say, so I'm working on a much longer review. So if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. Actually, Twitter is oftentimes a better way to reach me if you want your question answered quickly. Also, if your question is really good or if you want to see something specific in my review in the next couple weeks, that's another way to reach me and kind of get that input and help shape what I'm going to talk about and get the specific information you're looking for. So anyway, thank you for watching. Feel free to subscribe for updates, and I'll see you in a few days.